Hey guys, welcome back to Wealth Unlocked, the podcast helping you unlock wealth. I'm actually super excited today because we have a new people that we haven't had on the podcast before, Martin, and then we have Miss Nadene, who's also my broker. But Martin, I want you to introduce yourself a little bit. Let us get to know you, some of the things you're doing overall in general.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So my name is Martin Tirado. I'm with Real Brokerage. I've been in real estate for going on 10 years this month. So this is actually my 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
I've been doing it for over a decade.
Awesome.
And I didn't look like this when I got started. So I looked a whole lot better.
You still look good, Martin.
There's that. Well, it's because my wife keeps me looking good. If I didn't look good, then she probably would have been gone. But nonetheless, we've done a lot. Like we celebrated this past year that we've helped and serviced over 1,000 clients in our entire real estate career. So we've sold over $250 million in real estate, and we're just continue to go up. That's just our team. So we're super excited whenever we get to meet that either first buyer, first investor, first seller, because it's always a new experience. So, so for us, we've always had that same concept. You work hard, and the benefit from it's going to come later on. So we like the fact that we aligned ourselves with those same companies, from our brokerage to our broker to the other agents that are there. We've seen that there's been a big trade line where it's very comfortable having those conversations that everybody has the same mission. So whenever you align.
Well, thank you for being on here, man. Like, I texted Martin too. I was like, "Hey, Martin, would you be on the podcast with me and Nadene?" And he was like, "When?" I was like, "Wednesday." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Sweet." I called Nadene. I was like, "Hey," he said yes. So that's awesome. So I really do appreciate both of you being here.
Absolutely.
Today we're gonna have a little, maybe might turn out to be a little spicy of a video today. Today we're going to be talking about, which everybody's been talking about, is the whole lawsuit with NAR, as well as affiliate brokerages like Keller Williams and things like that. Pretty much for those of you that don't know, in Missouri there was a class action lawsuit with a lot of people joining it, and they actually did a settlement. So pretty much the whole gist of it is it's based on the seller side of the listing. A lot of people were doing 6% on their listing when they sold a house, but there wasn't a lot of transparency in like negotiating. It was just set in stone, no negotiating. Other ways of like how they said it was kind of misleading, that a lot of the people that were suing felt. They settled for $1.78 billion, which is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So they're actually opening up more lawsuits in different states. And so I really want to talk about this because I think, especially us being in the industry, and especially you guys being in the industry way longer than me. I've been 5 years, I think 8 years, and now 10. Congratulations. I think for us, the main thing is giving the knowledge to people to let them understand what's going on, what it really means to be a realtor, and for new realtors especially, what is expected of you to make sure you don't get sued. So I think that's super important because I don't know about you guys. I don't feel like being sued.
No.
So
I've never been sued.
No, yeah. Nadene can't not.
Yeah, I can't not.
She the last podcast. She's like, I've been sued.
Yeah. If you service enough people, and you do things right, I guarantee you somebody's gonna come after you. For something.
People have just bad people just want to do different things.
So at my previous brokerage, there's this one company. Well, it was like an investor company. They bought a ton of houses, and they tried finding any reason to sue. So it finally got to the point where they took up quite a bit of my time, and I told our attorney that was representing us, I said, countersue $500 for every hour that I spent on this lawsuit because that's my value. They dismissed the case the very next
Real
week.
quick.
Very quick, because a lot of times they don't have a leg to stand on.
Right. Right.
So
just trying to see what they can get.
Exactly.
Well, good luck. Well, so we have a few different bullet points I want to hit on today. So I think the main thing first is, Nadene, I asked you, can you kind of in your words explain what is NAR?
Yes, I can explain what NAR is. NAR is the National Association of Realtors, and basically it's the largest trade organization in America. And so their goal is to help the consumer, but as far as realtors, we do get some benefits. The benefits are, I'm going to put it nicely, they can help. But if you're in business as a realtor or in the business of real estate, I can guarantee you, I really haven't taken much advantage of that.
Okay.
It's as we put it, it's basically a very large coupon book. Have you ever seen it? Have you seen your benefits?
Yep. Yeah.
Have you ever utilized any of your benefits?
No, not at all.
I did one time. I did.
Was the mailing?
No. It was printing. They have an affiliate agreement with Office Depot, and I think I got like 70% off. But then they changed. Yeah, I did printing a lot.
That sounds good, but then they changed it.
They want us to fill out a different form, and so it was really just too cumbersome. Also, when I travel, if I get a rental car, I get like a 15% off. So I do go and check there to see if I do have anything, any benefit. But as far as my business goes, I don't feel that it adds any value to my business.
Do either of you know how much it is to be? What's the fee that we pay?
I have absolutely no idea.
Do you, Martin?
My wife pays it.
Wife, do you know?
Like
On top of her head.
Anything
crazy?
I don't think it's anything crazy.
No, I think it's like maybe $200, $300 for the year, maybe.
Okay.
I don't think it's not that expensive.
Like 20,000 agents though, in just San Antonio.
Oh, I mean they make
make money.
they make millions of dollars off of our dues. They do, but I guess that's why it's a little frustrating with this NAR suit is that you make a lot of money off of us, and it didn't seem like you did very well in presenting our case.
Oh yeah.
As realtors, I understand that they want to protect the consumer, but if we're paying all the dues, there should be some protection within our organization as well. And I feel like that's where they're falling short.
Do you think that has anything to do with any of our, that the brokerage should protect us as agents?
And that's what I do agree. But then if that's the case, then why am I paying you? For a coupon book?
That's what I asked her. I was like, so do we have a lawyer just in case anything happens?
No, NAR, from my understanding, NAR doesn't provide any type of legal assistance. No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, I'm happy they got sued and I didn't. So,
but unfortunately, because they're sued, it can have the potential to affect us.
So that's what I want to talk about today too. So I think one of the biggest things is I was going to do it at the end, but I kind of want to do it at the beginning now. Martin, when you do a listing, when somebody's saying, "Hey, Martin, I've seen you around. I want to talk to you. I want you to list my house."
Yep.
How does that conversation go around? Mainly on the commission point. Like, what is your talks with them?
So I have a good trade line as far as doing good business. So the commission is not necessarily something that I have to really combat. For someone that shows value just from the beginning, there's a reason why they called me and not their cousin that's also a realtor or a family friend. So for me, I don't really have to combat it as much. And if I have like a move up opportunity, sometimes I do give like a little reduction on commission just to help them out. But for the majority of the time, I really don't have to sell the commission. But just like any other great agent, I still want to show them what their net amount would be.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, for them, that's more important than how much am I paying out.
What they're walking away with after everything.
But I think it's important to understand, though, I think you briefly touched on it as far as what the source of the lawsuit's for. But the basic premise is that the sellers, the selling side, feel that there is an inflation when it comes to commissions. That both sides, meaning the buyer and the seller, are colluding, or the agents are colluding and fixing prices as far as commission goes. And they're not disclosing what that looks like. So from a seller's standpoint, I kind of understand. From the selling standpoint, why am I paying 6% for you to pay another broker to negotiate against me?
Correct.
So I understand that idea and that concept. However, there's a big thing that's kind of missing, and I think us as realtors, we've done the horrible job of explaining our value, is that they don't understand the purpose and the value that a buyer's agent brings to the table. And because they lack that knowledge and they lack that understanding, they just feel that they're now getting the short end of the stick, because now they're paying an exorbitant amount, which they feel, for the other buyer side that is just bringing them a buyer.
Got you.
And so let's say I'm a client and I say, Nadene, I really appreciate you meeting with me today. I understand everything you're planning on doing for my listing, but I really feel more comfortable at being like at 4%. What would you say to that?
I can understand that. And what we'll do is understanding what the market entails. So that's going to put me at a position where I'm going to have to fight for you in that sense. I'm going to have to really market and go outside of the box, but you also have to have that conversation of why do you not feel that there's a value?
Okay.
So just like Martin said, is like before somebody even, I haven't really had anybody that has combated me on that either. Now it could be a situation where the seller is really just they can't afford it just due to their net.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And in those situations, it's like, yeah,
We'll work with you.
We'll work with you. We're here to help you. But when my sellers understand the value that I bring, it's not just me splitting my commission with another buyer to bring them on. No, I'm marketing to the best available buyers.
Exactly.
Okay.
I am marketing to the best available realtors as well. And on the other side of it, if I do get a horrible realtor that doesn't know anything, then guess what? My seller's going to come out on top because I'm going to beat them every time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you're negotiating on their behalf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So our brokerage, we just came back from a conference about 2 weeks ago, and our president, he showed us his listing presentation, how he did, and he actually won a listing over $100 million. He competed with Warren Buffett and his friends.
Whoa, that's
Berkshire
cool.
Hathaway. So it was a cool story to intro, so he kind of got my attention right off
Yeah.
the bat. But there's a few things that he ended up talking about towards the end where it came down to value. He said, well, we don't compare ourselves to average agents. Average agents will take some photos with their phones, put it on MLS, and
Yep.
that's it, right?
Yeah.
And you might get a call from them once a month, just
Yeah.
giving them an update. But you know, there's people's feet, beds are not made, like they
Yeah.
do not go that extra mile. And then he started saying we do a stacking mechanism, a stacking concept where, yes, we are going to professionally photograph your house. We are going to make sure the house looks great and it's appealing to not just the buyers, but also realtors that are going to send it out. And then not only that, but we're also going to get you plugged in with our entire network. And then he starts talking about we sell a house every 9 minutes, which is pretty impressive. So for the credibility for the listing appointment, now they're thinking, okay, I'm going to partner up with a company. I'm paying because the broker fees go to the broker, right? It doesn't go necessarily to the agent. So we create value not just for ourselves, but also for the company we work for. And then on top of that, we want to do show like a national presence. So if there are people, we're a big military city, and they're transitioning from, say, Virginia, San Diego, even Puerto Rico. And if you have something that's appealing, now we're creating more of a value where we're not just local, but we're national, right? We're going to give that national presence where, yes, we are going to put it on these different websites that we pay for, but everybody else does that, right?
Yeah.
So you create more of a value where now, before you even get to commissions, you've already shown them everything that you're going to do from your marketing standpoint to your credibility with other producing agents.
But that shows a lot towards your expertise as a listing agent.
Correct.
This NAR situation doesn't affect you, you personally, because you're excellent at listing.
Correct.
You're a listing expert. But what about the buyers?
Correct. And
that's the conversation that we need to have.
Correct. And I was going to get to that next, but I think that's in like one of the other
No, you're good.
questions. So,
We can kind of jump there because I think what a lot of the sellers, there are two things. One is, why am I paying somebody else's
Correct.
agent? Let's talk about that part and then jump. So why should they pay another agent?
So I was going to get into that where if we're competing, and in this market, we're all competing right now.
Yeah.
If I have a buyer looking for a $300,000 house, and it's a little unfair to say why, and you know where I'm going, right? So it's a little unfair, but we have a very similar house. So even like builders. Right now, builders are giving up all these incentives, paying all these closing costs, giving all these bonuses, everything under the moon, right? They're providing washer and dryer, everything. And then we have our sweet seller that's possibly able to give $5,000 towards closing costs, but we're also not trying to pay the buyer's commission. So the reason why you mentioned the buyer is important and create value for the buyer is for the reason that without that buyer, we don't have a sell. And if there's all these promotions that these builders, the big corporations, are going to pay all this money to make sure they could earn the business, because that's what we got to do. We got to earn the business for whoever that buyer it is, still a consumer at the end of the day. So it gets to the point of, how are we going to appeal to that agent? And if we're not going to pay their commission, but somebody else is going to, we lose our credibility for that agent and our agent community.
Yeah.
Because we will put ourselves in those shoes as well. And if we have a buyer for a very similar concept, if the builder's offering me all closing costs paid for, 3% commission, possibly a bonus for a brand new house in the same price point, I'm going to take my clients there.
Right.
So a lot of times when I do talk to my sellers, I say, this is who we're competing with. And I say it's them against us, right? But this is also our target audience for the people that we're looking to buy. And I'll even do this. I'll go a step further. I was offer an average buyer to buy a house in today's market, and I'll pull out a payment calculator. This is how much they got to qualify. This is how much kind of debt, and then this is what their monthly payment going to be. Yep. And then I use the easy term and say, would you buy this house for this amount at this time of the market? No? Okay. We have to convince them to. Yeah. We gotta tell a story that's going to be able to put us in front of them where they're comfortable. They want to take a look at the house first, and then from there they're going to make the decision to see the house, put a contract, go through negotiations, and that's where that agent has to lead his clients to that finish line at the end of the day. They are not going to work for free. Right. Buyers agents will not work for free, so we have to compensate them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want to stick on that a little bit because I think that's something that's not on the forefront that people like to talk about, especially as realtors. So as a buyer's agents, when we're looking for a search for our clients, they kind of give us, we got a pre-approval, we got an understanding of how many bedrooms and what they need in the side of town. When we're doing a search, I think it's, honestly for me, it's hard because as agents, we see the commissions. So what is it that keeps you from saying, hey, I'm gonna go to the 6%er rather than this 3%er? Because I think it's very tempting that, of course, it's 6%, but is that in the best interest of my buyer? Right. And I think that was the biggest thing, too, is like the people that were getting sued, those agents that were getting caught, is they weren't working in the best interest of their buyer. Yeah. It was just like, who can make the most money? Right. What do you, and over the years of experience, Nadene, like, how do you get over that? Has it gotten to the point where, like, because we have an oath that we take, that when we take our tests and everything, we have duties that we have to abide by. For you and your integrity, what keeps you from not going in the best interest of your buyers and just stacking money in your pocket?
I'm driven by a different moral compass, I feel like. So I understand that they're trusting me with the biggest financial decision of their lives. Exactly. It's their biggest financial purchase of their lives. So I can't take that too lightly. And so when I'm looking at it, it's just like, okay, well, what works best for my clients? Yeah, don't get me wrong. I want to make a 6% commission plus a $5,000 bonus on a $500,000 house. Yes, absolutely. I want to do that. But does this work best for my client? No. And honestly, a lot of times for me, my price points, I work with a lot of very first-time home buyers that don't believe that they can even buy a house. So for me, like, honestly, a lot of those new construction, those like little dangly carrots, they don't really work for my clients anyway. So I think the biggest issue right now is that buyer's agents, with the way the lawsuit is going, and mind you, it hasn't been appealed, so there's not gonna be any changes anytime soon. So just sit down somewhere, everybody. Like, let's just calm down a little bit and let's continue to do real estate. But for a buyer's agent, the value has to be there. You can no longer have, and I tell my agents this all the time, and I tell people, you can't have my buyers send me Zillow listings that they want to see. I have to now be out there finding inventory for them. The deals. I have to show value to my buyer. Yes, I can do a contract. If you went to real estate school, you should know how to do a contract, or at least read one or understand one. That's the basics of real estate that most buyers, not buyers agents, but buyers don't have. So yes, I have a leg up, but I have to put myself in a position to where I am really showing value. I'm educating them, but not only educating them, giving them the best opportunities. And a lot of times, especially right now, the way the market is, the best opportunities for buyers are not on the market. They're not on the MLS. So as a buyer's agent, that's what I choose to do, and if that's my business model, I have to now create those inventory. I have to now go direct to seller and say, hey, seller, I'm bringing you a buyer, and now I'm charging you 4%. I did that all during COVID. Yep. A lot of my buyers that I had in COVID, I wanted to make sure that, because my buyers, again, they couldn't pay $10,000 over. They couldn't even compete in that market. 90% of my sales during 2020 and 2021 were all off market, and I got the sellers to pay me as I represented my buyers. So the value, you have to bring that, and if you don't, go ahead and deactivate your license so that we can do business and actually advocate and be that person for our clients.
Gotcha. And I think we talked about that before Martin got here. So as of right now, as of 2023, I think it's 60,000 agents have deactivated their license.
Amen.
So
hallelujah.
on top of that, first year overall, it's about 87% of agents don't make their first year.
Yep.
And then it's, I think it was, we talked about it last time, it's 54% of people can't even pass the test. They fail the test.
I failed it twice.
I failed it 4
can't
times.
say.
It is a
So
hard
I can't
test.
say too much on that.
No, but they
you're
don't
10
even
years in the
they don't
game,
even
Martin.
try again. Like
You
it's
just
a hard
gotta pass
test.
it one time.
Yeah, that's it.
You just need
And
that
then
one.
continue with your continuous education because you do not want that to lapse.
Yeah.
But that in itself, and like you're saying, like from 2020, 2021, a lot of new agents came on board.
Yep.
Do you feel like that was Martin, do you feel like that was a big issue? Is just like all these people, because I think a lot of people think realtors, we just sit around, cash checks, list a place. It's super easy. If it's so easy, shouldn't
not what we
everybody
do?
do it?
We're not all doing that? It's not, I thought it was like they gave you shirts when you signed up.
And they give you shirts and a TikTok.
Yeah. No.
Explain to them like the difficulty of like realtor life. Like what is
Yeah,
it
no,
for you?
you work for free pretty much for your first year. You do make a little bit of money, but you're still paving the way for you to actually have a business. And that's the thing, so I hate HGTV. I hate those selling sunsets. Like I cringe.
Yeah.
Absolutely cringe on that. And the reason I say that is because you see RESPA violations on the shows.
Constantly.
Like they're all like, oh yeah, I think my seller will take $100,000 less. Like you're not supposed to say that
Like,
shit. You don't represent them. And it's funny because my wife, she's all into that Selling Sunset show.
My wife too.
And then I was all like, no, she's not doing her fiduciary responsibility
Right.
but the average seller, the average buyer, they don't understand that. And those average buyers and the average sellers become those real estate agents that they
Yeah.
think that they can dress up and they can
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that I wish I could say that I can't say because a lot of these outfits that a lot of these agents present themselves in are attracting the wrong crowd. That's not really giving us any type of credibility. So at the end of the day, we have to be credible.
And I think that's where we, as a collective, as realtors, that we have just completely fallen short.
Oh,
We don't
100%.
we don't educate our community. We don't educate the buyers or the sellers. That there's just this, I guess just this thought of what realtors do and what they are. That it's not the case at all.
Yeah, and shout out to Chris and shout out to Cody for educating the community because I know they do a great job with not only their builder summits but also their reaching veterans summits that they put here. So for me, when I went to the very first VA summit that they had at the old Austin Highway building, I learned a lot about the VA loan benefit too. And I feel like there's a lot of agents that don't even know the concept yet.
Do you think that agents, there should be a more of a foundational understanding of real estate before they get the real estate license and begin to practice?
Yeah, 3 weeks is not long enough to show people how to make the biggest purchase of their lives. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think there have to be more handheld through the entire process because showing them how a toilet works compared to understanding the logistics behind it is different.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of agents are just saying, here's your license, good luck.
I think that's what happened with me when I first got my license. It was just there was no. Do you think there should be like a probationary period? Because we do that with a lot of like
100%.
electricians and all these other works that we
Absolutely.
do. And there's a probationary period where you have a mentor that is responsible for you, which is like a broker. But a lot of brokers in themselves don't take the time to walk you through things.
We don't have a leg to stand on that. There's a lot, like you mentioned, plumbers, electricians. There's unions behind that, making sure that they have an apprentice. They start off as an apprentice, right, before they're able to go out by themselves.
Right.
And right now we're just handing the keys to the kingdom. Like there's nothing in between that's stopping a realtor from missing up like a real bad deal.
Right. You're absolutely right.
So I know you were saying that nothing's going to change right now. There's still things going on. But, devil's advocate, there was a theory. What if the buyers eventually have to pay their own commission to their own buyer's agent. How do you think is that something that's even plausible? What's the good and bad benefits to that? Like, how's that going to work out?
That's really gonna suck for the buyers, because if you think about it, the buyers are paying down their down payment. They've got their inspections, they got their option periods. There's so much money that they're coming out of pocket
Closing
already
costs.
to purchase this home. So to add on, say $10,000 on like a $350,000 home. That's a lot of money that a buyer would have to pay. So again, my thing goes back to value. I'm going to the seller. If I have a buyer that says, Nadene, this is the kind of home I'm going to get qualified. This is what I'm looking for. When that time comes where my buyer's going to have to pay me, yeah, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that cost is very minimal, because there is value in what I do, and I will charge. I'm not going to stop charging because I know my worth and I know what I bring to the table. But there's different ways that we can get it. I mean, now we're gonna have to be really creative, because if you think about it, the price of housing has the realtor commissions built in them. If you think about it. So now if you remove that, guess what's gonna happen to the market? The value of homes, they're now gonna start to go down.
So question, who truly pays for the commissions, the buyers or the sellers? It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Technically, if you really think about it, the buyers, because it's wrapped up in the mortgage. They're buying at a price that already has the commissions in it. Now, at the net, it looks like it comes out of the seller's pocket, but it's really built into the price of the home.
So when realtors go around saying, "Hey, you don't have to pay me a commission to help you," how does
Realtors, stop saying that, because that's what's getting us in trouble.
So we know how you feel, Martin.
Yeah. So for me, I was just having a conversation with my sister before we got here. I said, just think about it. If a buyer's putting 5% down on a $300,000 house, they have to come up with $15K. Closing costs right now, it's higher than.
It's like almost a 4%.
No, it's more than that with prepaids and all this extra stuff.
I try to get the sellers to buy it.
Yeah, I know, but just think about it.
Yeah.
If they're going through a traditional conventional loan or even a VA loan, right now on average, I've been seeing anything from $15,000 on a $300,000 house all the way to about $20,000, because there's not a par rate. Right. And that's kind of where it's scary, right? And on top of that, so put 5%, another 5%, now throw another 3% on top. That's 13% on a $300,000 house. So you're talking about close to $39,000 is what a $300,000 purchase is gonna, and a lot of those fees are not going towards the equity.
Yeah.
So so let's talk in the aspects of like new builds. That's kind of like how the price is getting. So would you say they're overpaying for the house if that's the case, of all these extra fees?
Yeah, I see a lot of houses and I'm just like, how the hell did you get that? Why'd you buy that house?
Yeah.
It's an ugly house for $250,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have a garage.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So what if you were in control? Let's go with Martin first. If you were in control of...
That's dangerous.
If Martin was in control.
For 2024.
Oh, Lord.
So, Martin, if you were in control, what are some things that you feel need to change in our industry?
I feel that every agent that starts in real estate has to have someone that's going to be a coach or a mentor. There has to be like that probationary period. I feel that we have to keep, because there's a lot of mom and pop brokerages that they say, we don't charge a franchise fee, we don't charge a split, we charge a per transaction. But I know a lot of the companies that I've worked with in the past, I didn't even know who the broker was. I worked for this company for like 2 years. I spoke with our broker one time. And then I see all these other agents doing 1 or 2 deals a year, getting in all this trouble.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel that if you're going to say that you're a broker, you have to take responsibility for your agents, 100%.
Yeah.
And I say this too for any sponsors too. Like for our company, we sponsor agents.
Like you're talking about like a team, like the team lead, the person responsible.
A team, yeah. But so like with the real, it's a little weird. So we get compensated through revenue share by attracting agents, right? I feel that even those agents have to have responsibilities for those agents that are coming in.
That they're attracting.
Yeah, 100%.
Kind of like a supervisory.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Every single one. If you're going to commit to bringing them on, make sure to commit to their success. Make sure to commit to their faults too, because that could be a lawsuit, right? So I feel that there's a very low, there's a low bar for that, and I feel that a lot of people kind of take it for granted. They'll just bring someone on, and then the person is like, okay, they're super excited. They got the headshots, the welcome, and everything. And then 2-3 months later, they're gone.
Because they don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do. There's no accountability. There's no credibility, and that's where I feel like there's a big misconception with agents that are getting started, that they're all like, man, we're super excited, but I picked the wrong organization to be a part of. And then now I had to pay the price because I failed.
Do you think that's why a lot of agents end up leaving the profession?
I think so too. I think they hire the wrong brokerage. I think they hire the wrong mentor. Yeah, absolutely.
Nadene, what would you change?
What I would change is, I really would. It really stems on education. If I had control of all of this, it really stems on education, really truly educating the community on value. I stress value a lot because we're all in a profession that, again, some people see the value and some people don't. But there has to be a level of transparency as well. We've got to get out of this habit of deceiving people in order to make a dollar. And we've talked about it before, you know, how people just kind of dangle carrots and things like that. Realtors have gotten a bad rap because of the amount of money that we can make.
I think they put us right above car salesmen right now.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, we've got to do a better job of educating the buyers and the sellers about what we do. We have completely fallen short of that. And I think that's the biggest problem. And I think that the sellers and buyers, once we're able to, once they know, oh man, this realtor knows what they're talking about, and they speak to somebody else that doesn't, that hasn't been educated, that hasn't been mentored, they'll be able to see, like, there's a totally different level of service that I'm going to get with this person. So I think that, you know, at the end of the day, everybody can, you know, get their license and, you know, they can mask it and make it seem like they're just, you know, like a car salesman. But I think what's going to be tried and true is, you know, how much does somebody know? How much are they educating themselves, and how much are they providing value to their client? I think that's the most important thing, is we got to get back to providing, and then also just being a broker, and also just having a business. Now with things changing, you have to now have a business in real estate. Absolutely. Like, you cannot just do real estate. I think this is also going to stop a lot of part-time agents, because now with the way things are set up, if you don't have a listing, or a listing is part of your business, or a method to attract the seller for your buyer, you're going to get lost in this. You're not going to have a business. You're just going to be pushing paper. So
let's dive into that. So I have a sales meeting every Monday, and the one thing I told all of my agents, I said, listers are going to last. And I segued into the lawsuit, right? Sellers do not want to pay buyers agents no more, but sellers still want to pay their agents for representation. Exactly. And I kind of compared it to the concept of, if you're hiring an attorney to represent you in a lawsuit, and then the other person's going to hire their own attorney for the lawsuit, right? Why are you going to pay for the representation on their side? And that's kind of what the argument is, too. It's like, why am I paying for you to beat me up on price and all this other stuff? So I agree with that. And then I started thinking, I say, well, how many other industries are going to be impacted because of this lawsuit, too? Now we started talking about restaurants. Yesterday, they charged gratuity on a $200 tab that we had. Automatically. Shouldn't that be the responsibility for the restaurant and the restaurant owner?
Yeah, I worked at Olive Garden for like 3 years, and you get paid like $2.15, and you have to hope that your service is good enough to tip, which I did. I make good money either way. Yeah. But why isn't my employer paying me a salary? And so I get what you're saying there. Yeah. So with that being said, so again, if we do get rid of buyer commissions, what's going to happen? Like, do you just feel like a lot of people are just going to be not able to buy?
No, honestly, I really feel sorry for the buyers. Yeah. I'm really, because I don't think that, and that's the thing, I don't think that on a national level they really understand what they're doing to the consumer, the buyer, because now they're allowing the buyer, because the buyer doesn't have it financially. Yeah. A lot of, I wouldn't be able to put a percentage amount, but a lot of buyers can't afford that.
But if they can't afford it, should they just not buy then?
Are you crazy? No, home ownership is for everybody.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm saying. Us as realtors, we have to go in and out. Okay, now I got to find these opportunities, because if the seller is not going to pay, because now they got to pay their listing agent and they don't want, okay, fine, cool. then I now, because I have this buyer and I'm committed to helping them become a homeowner, I've got to find their property. I've got to go direct to the seller. So yet I see the issue that's going on. It doesn't scare me. It scares me for my new agents that I have to train, that because they don't understand this concept. But it doesn't scare me at all because I have a business that is built on providing value. Yeah. Okay. So because of that, NAR can say, hey, we're not going to pay. Don't worry, I'm going to find a way to get paid because I know the value that I bring. And I guess that's the point of it all, is that real estate is a business. It is not a hobby. It is not, because you are really helping somebody with their biggest financial decision. And so why should that be a hobby? That should be left for professionals in the industry. No part-timers. I really don't
dabble in real estate.
Yeah, not with the market that we're in now. We really have to help them understand the difference. Like, what does this transaction really look like? The pitfalls, option period, due diligence, plumbing. I mean, I go to my inspections. There's a lot of realtors that just don't go to their inspections. I know that's the thing.
I don't know if you saw it.
I do.
What?
So I think it was on Shift Talk. They were asking, like, do you guys go to inspections?
I saw that, and it was like,
some lady says, I have not been to an inspection over 13 years.
And the reason why is because she was worried about her liability. Because if there's anything that she knows that she doesn't understand, and that she said, but do you see how I don't want a coward. I don't know who that person was. I'm not going to say her name.
I don't know.
Okay. But that to me sounds like a coward. I don't want that person representing me. If you can't come to my inspection and help me understand this part of the deal, why in the world would I be paying you? That's the realtor that needs to be out of the business. To me, what value are you providing? Why haven't you gone to any of your inspections? Because at that point, you should be. I'm not saying you should be an inspector or that's your expertise, but I'm paying you for your expertise and your knowledge and your experience. And if you're telling me you don't have any in that, man, I don't want you part of this. I don't want you to part of this at all. So I think it's about going back to providing value.
Martin?
So I love the fact that you say that. So I have a good buddy of mine. He lives in Vegas, and every time I go to Vegas, I hang out with him because it's a write-off, right? We go see real estate.
You messing up my money, man.
Business. Hey. So my buddy, he's he's very active in the community. He does quite a bit of business, and he made a post, and dang, he posts a lot. His name's Colton. So shout out to Colton out in Vegas. If you need a realtor in Vegas, he's your guy. He'll take better care than you than I would here in San Antonio. I'll just say that.
He's really good.
He is, in my opinion, the best real estate agent in the United States.
Awesome.
That's
a great compliment.
So, and he did about 201 downturn economy. He did 201 year to date.
Wow, that's amazing.
Closed deals. He helped service. He posted it today, so I love that. So he put NAR lawsuit. Now what? He said nothing. Just get back to work.
Yeah, that's it.
So a lot of people, they're like on the fence. They're like, oh, is real estate going to be good for me? Oh, they're not going to pay my commission. Oh, like you just said right now, I don't care. I'll go find the money. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to represent my client the best of my ability, and God will provide.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
There's so many people that they get scared off of news. They get scared off of like any conversation in the office even. Yeah. Oh, what are we gonna do now? Yeah. And they're gonna come and they're gonna sue all of us. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, they don't even know my name. Like they don't even know you sold 2 houses last year. Get your ass out there and start selling some more. But the thing about it is, like, everybody there's all these distractions in real estate. There's all these distractions in life, and just because I'm scared of heights doesn't mean I'm not gonna get playing.
Right.
Just because I know that there's a lawsuit and they're trying to take buyers' commissions away doesn't mean I'm not going to go out there and I'm going to service clients. Yeah. So he talks a lot of shit to me. So I'm going to tell you. I was all like, tell me about it. The answer is, who gives a shit? Is no one cares, work harder, survival of the fittest. And then he said a joke about cardio, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But for the most part, like, his thing is, like, I had a conversation with him, and this is how we became really good buddies. I said, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie 300. Have you ever seen the movie 300? I feel like this is exactly what we need. And I feel that if we as realtors, the true professionals, are going to come out and we're going to come to play, it's going to be like the Spartan 300. We might be a lot less, but we're going to be way stronger, right? So we just talked about 60,000 agents just got out of the market. Perfect.
Yeah, yes.
Good.
Amen. I said hallelujah last time. I'm going to say it again. Hallelujah.
So So we talk all the time, and I'm actually going to get him a Spartan little pendant to go with his necklace, because I feel like he's a Spartan warrior. So when Leonidas, he went, Achilles was there, and he went with all of his soldiers. His soldiers were carpenters, they were blacksmiths, potters, all this other stuff, right? And he asked his Spartan warriors, he's all like, what's your profession? And what they say? You remember?
I remember, it's been so long.
They said, Haru, Haru, Haru. So he told his friend, he's all like, see, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did. The thing about it is that we will remove all the people that shouldn't be in this industry.
Yeah, yeah.
And they will weed out themselves, but then they're going to know, oh, damn, I'm going to war. And this is what real estate is.
Yeah.
Like, it's a battle of the fittest.
It's competition. I mean, it is what it is. We're negotiating. It's competition. We're trying to get the best for our clients.
Exactly.
So going back to being the best, the education that we get off the back from whatever school we get, do you think, we just talked about how the test is kind of hard to pass, but do you think it should be more universal level? Like, do we need to get a degree in
To teach?
To teach, or just to get our license in general?
Well, you could go first.
Well, no, I don't think that a degree is necessary. What I feel like is there needs to be accountability and mentorship.
So it's more after the fact,
Yeah.
the people that we're going to be sponsored or under.
Yeah, I think it's our job as team leads, as brokers, is to make sure that the agents that we attract, that we bring on our team, are equipped to do what they need to do. I think that's important. That completely is lost. People just hire on agents and then just send them out and they just do their thing. That can't continue. Well, it's not going to continue to happen, because I think it's, sellers are getting, I think everybody's getting tired of that, and they're seeing that. Because I do think if I'm a brand new agent and I don't know anything, but yet I got into the business during COVID and everything is selling for me, I'm not really learning my trade and my craft.
True.
And so now I've gotten all this money. Yeah, it's inflated. You didn't really deserve it. You didn't really earn it. And I think that's where people are getting upset. Like, you didn't really earn this. You just opened a door, put something on a contract, and it just happened for you. And that's happened, I think, all too often here recently. And I think that's where it's just like, hey, enough of this. We need professionals back in the industry.
Correct.
Martin?
So I feel that I didn't learn as much from the textbooks that we used at the school compared to real life action.
Experience.
So going out there, messing up. And two, like, I give a lot of praise to the first brokerage I was at, but I feel like, man, there's a lot of stuff I had to learn on my own. And I think it's going to be the agent, because, I was just talking to my sister yesterday, and I said, I probably want to quit real estate like 20 times in my entire career, right? Because it does get hard.
Yeah.
But I remember one time I went to my my very first listing appointment. I didn't know what the hell. I didn't even take a listing packet. I had no idea what to prepare for, because I just didn't know. And I didn't get the right support. So going back to your question, it doesn't really matter about the school. But I go back to it matters about the support, mentorship. Like, if you have great support, great mentorship, then you're going to be good.
Yeah.
But if you don't, find someone that's going to support you.
So
Or get out of the business.
Or get out of the business.
So from a broker standpoint and a team lead standpoint, I know because I don't know, as a regular realtor, I have to continuous education. Is there a continuous education for brokers, and how much is it?
Gosh, so there is.
Broker responsibility.
Yeah, but you know what? I took that class before just because I wanted to strengthen my leadership skills before I was even a broker, because I was a team lead before. But I have found, and I've been doing my research here recently, there is not as much training specifically for brokers. There's not. So I've had to find leadership, and then continuously strengthening my skills on the legality, or the legal aspect of the business. So yes, I know how to do business. The business side of real estate is easy for me. Now as a broker, I need to learn how to properly lead.
The mentorship side.
Mentorship. No, not even the mentorship, because it's not the mentorship, because I can mentor somebody in real estate. That's easy again for me, but it's, okay, how can I stay abreast of all of the legal things to keep you out of trouble, or to make sure that you're knowledgeable about all of the different changes?
And
because
then getting them to do it.
Well, it's not even about getting to. If you just don't do it, then I'm the type of broker that I'll just cut ties. Bye. See you later. May the Lord watch between me and thee is my statement. But no. It's really about, like, I really have to go out and seek that. So I go out and I get leadership training from elsewhere, because it's not provided in the brokerage community.
Let me ask you a question. There's a lot of brokers. I hope we're still good on time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of brokers, a lot of team leads that they feel like what they're doing is something completely different. Like they got the secret sauce and they don't want to share it with anybody unless you're like paying them. So I just don't get that. I know you're very open. You're more than happy to help anybody, no matter if they're in your brokerage or not. Yeah. But there are still quite a few people that they have like everything, but they don't want to share any of their knowledge, and it just doesn't make sense.
We talked about that last time.
Did you?
I don't
remember. It's like, because I was telling her like sometimes like I'm learning things and I'm just like, well, I don't see nobody doing it. I'll do it. And somebody asks like, I don't really want to share it. It's a mentality thing.
Yeah.
And for, like I was talking to Nadene, like for me, it's like I grew up poor, so it's like if I had something, I want to keep it.
Yeah.
And
so
I'm
like
afraid to give it. But the thing is, there's so much out there for everybody.
It's underneath the table.
We're playing Monopoly too, just. But honestly, it's just a mentality thing, and that's where the mentor, for me, that's where the mentor comes in. And if your mentor is like that, then you're gonna be like that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I told Nadene, I love being with her. I love being friends with you, because there's been times I'll text you and you're just like, dude, this is this, or this is that, or hey, we're doing this. I'm just like, dude, there's not a lot of that in this in industry.
And so I like that you bring that up. I used to be at the Secession building. We had an office there once we switched brokerages, where it was kind of like our in between. And have y'all been to that office? So
like the hub area.
So pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So it has like a big, so it's open and everybody could kind of listen in. I would have my sales meetings in the middle of like the foyer. And I remember there's an agent, he comes up to me, he's another team lead, and he's all like, Martin, why are you giving all your information away for free?
Yeah.
Right? Like you're giving good nuggets. Like I heard the stuff and I was just like, man, I like that. He's all, why do you just give it away for free? I said, he's all, you're training your competition. I said, yeah. But 90% of them won't do shit.
Right, exactly. So why not strengthen the community of realtors that we can work together? And that's why we work so well together. It's because we help each other.
Exactly.
And that's what we need to have in this industry. We don't have that. Okay. We have very selfish individuals in this. And that's what I'm saying. I hope they all leave.
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to talk about, because we were talking about like just accountability, credibility. One thing I want to give another shout out to my buddy Rami. He's with RD Realty. He's the broker owner. He empowers his people, and I love the fact. So I'm actually taking quite a few. So we talk about pouring into others and bringing support from both sides. He invited me to his shop, and he was showing me some cool stuff. He creates team leaders within his brokerage, and the responsibility is here. They're gonna hold you accountable. I love that. Yeah. Like, I feel that we need a little bit more of that just from every broker standpoint. And I feel like a lot of people could learn a lot from Rami. And I learned quite a bit. So I'm strengthening up some of my different internal, real estate concepts based off of it. So I love the fact. So I want to start implementing that a lot more. But, yeah, you never know. I didn't know Rami a year ago or 2 years ago. I met him playing poker. And then we had a shot, and then we became best friends. So, I just love the fact that he was very open. He's like, oh yeah, come and support. We need more brokers to be very welcoming. And
I have not found that. I have been searching.
Like a broker circle?
No, when I say I've been searching,
start one.
I have been searching for brokers that I can connect with, that can, just so we can kind of, mastermind. Because there's a lot of real estate masterminds. Yeah. But what about on the broker level, where we're trying to manage, teams?
The Lord's telling you to start one, Nadene.
People don't listen.
Are you saying I don't listen?
No. Here's the thing. No, this is the bad. And I'll say this about real estate agents. If they're not the main person, they're not the one in charge, they don't want to be a part of it.
That's what I'm saying, Martin. Come on. It's too late to get us started. We can't get to it's too late to get us started now.
Next episode.
Yeah, it's too late.
See, that's the thing. Like, I want to be a ghost. True. Like, this is what I tell a lot of people. I want to be a ghost. True. I kind of turned into a ghost this year. So we had our baby girl. I said, I'm going to take 3 months off. I'm kind of do like the minimum. I pretty much did the minimum. Still sold over $20 million in real estate.
Come on, Martin.
But, like, I didn't post. I didn't really, like, flaunt it so much. I didn't go after all the awards. I felt like I already had them all. I didn't really care too much about it.
So this is a person that cares about his clients.
Yeah, exactly. I only went to work because they called me. No, I called them. I got to make sure they're taken care of. So every year they already know what to expect from me. But at the end of the day, like I wanted to become a ghost because I didn't need to be the person anymore. I felt like I was always pushing to be that number one.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm cool with just letting my agents that are just killing it.
Let them flourish.
Yeah. Let them shine. I already got all the awards. What do I need that for?
Yeah.
Because it looks cool.
Show me the money now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going back to it. We were talking about lawsuits and NAR, but
No,
we kind of segued something different.
That's it. All fits together.
Yeah.
Because in general, depending on the lawsuit or not, like I wanted them to see the other aspects of realtors, brokers, team leads, things like that. Because the people getting sued are not your average realtor. Yeah. That's not the standard.
It's Missouri. What happens in Missouri?
I don't know.
I just know they got a football team. Like, man, they really
500,000.
Can they get like a basketball team so that way they can?
That's a lot. It's 500,000 sellers that are part of this class action lawsuit.
That's a lot.
So that's a lot of
I don't know how much time and over, but
that's a lot of deceit.
Did they call Sal? Better call Sal.
Oh, he'll get it.
Because, man, he was showing up in nursing homes trying to go after pharmaceutical companies and all this other stuff. They probably hired themselves a Sal.
Oh, well, he won. But in the end of the day, what the main thing, like I said, I want to get across is that it all comes down to the standard of the realtor that you're hiring.
Right.
And then it comes down to the standard of that broker team lead they're under. It all trickles back.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what that realtor is doing is what he's learning from his mentor.
Yeah.
And so like you were saying before we even started, it's going to be the knowledge and what we influence for the next generation of realtors coming down the line. Right. And so we need more of you guys around, and hopefully this goes around where other brokers can reach out to Nadene, reach out to Martin. So let's figure something, figure an issue out, because the last thing we want to do is people to look at a realtor and be like, man, that's a car salesman. I don't want to deal with him. Yeah. I don't like being perceived that way. And so luckily, then that's the only reason I kind of do TikTok and stuff, because I want them to see my personality and who I am.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I really love this. This was awesome. And I appreciate you guys coming on. Again, we're going to have everybody's socials and numbers on the bottom. And that's the thing I want to do more of, is other realtors, other people, because it's not just about us and our brokerage. We want to reach out to other people and show them that, hey, here in San Antonio and surrounding areas, there are great people to work with.
Yes.
So again, thank you guys for being with me.
Well, thank you for having us.
Nadene here, smile. I swear to God, I never know if she's for real or not.
I'm serious. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, whatever. So, guys, thank you so much. Again, make sure to go down to the description. All the information for these guys are going to be down there. Make sure to sub and like. If you guys have any questions for them, and maybe you can bring them back again to answer those questions. There's some things that you may not know, or your realtor didn't tell you or something you need to explain. Put it in the description. We'll comments, and we can go ahead and answer that. But other than that, we'll have a great day and talk to you guys later.
See you next time.